And I talked about this already as far as like the common elements in a response. We usually get status codes, which indicates like a success or redirection and so forth. These typically will tell us what happened to the request that we sent. So as I mentioned, a 403 would be something like, hey, you're not allowed to access that resource. A 500, the server had an error, didn't respond, blah, blah, blah. And ideally, that's kind of what the status codes typically, indicate. And my light bulb here again, HTTP response is pretty much the server saying, here's what I did with your request, and here's your results. Simple as that. Let's talk about HTTP headers. I've kind of covered this a little bit in general, and I do want to just kind of get a little bit deeper into it. HTTP headers actually can be broken down into several categories. Over here, we can see their general headers, their entity headers, their request headers, their response headers, their security headers. And a lot of times what they do is they provide context about the message. So as far as like headers can provide you context about the message, they can describe the content that's being sent. They can pass credentials and session info, as I mentioned, like with cookies and tokens and authorization. And all of those things, they pretty much, kind of allow the client and server to exchange data and understand each other in terms of what data they're exchanging. If we look at HTTP headers, they're typically in, this format. You'll see a header name and a value separated by the colon. Headers appear in both request and response, as I mentioned, because this is just how they communicate.